Let's go here, sign in. Okay, let's see merge request. So I asked you to create the chat application. Anyone has created? Only I see Ram has created. I don't see anyone else has worked on it. Okay. Okay, let's try to start from the scratch now today. Okay, so yesterday, last time, I created this basic structure for the chat application. I think we'll go through it today, and I will be doing things little faster. So make sure you do it along with me. And let's start with the new application. I will rename the. Okay, let's create the branch first. Here. MK October 28. Okay, so we are in the branch. Okay, let's go in the React Native and do the things along with me. So you will be able to do, uh, along with me. You will be able to do quickly with me. Otherwise, after this, you won't be able to. You will. It will take more time after that. Now, quickly we'll do together and check. So first is we'll install the new chat app. Maybe I'll say yarn create expo app, and I will name it maybe MK chat. Okay, MK chat. So you can also run the command under your folder name, and once this is done, we'll install the packages, and after the packages, we'll start working on it. So let me know when this is done. Okay, so still it's going on. Okay, what's happening? Okay, mine is done. Let me know when your is done. Okay, Kate is saying done. Ole, what about you? Is it done? Okay, so I'm just putting here what we did. Okay, now we will install series of packages so that we can start working. I'll give you those packages in the Telegram and also the chat here in the free conference chat. So you need to install one by one line. Let me give you in the Telegram also. So let's run one by one. You can also run it. If you are using npm, you can use npm install and this one. But if you are using yarn, you can use yarn add and this one. With npx, you can directly use npx. Don't use yarn for this npx one. I'm going in installing one by one. So these are the navigators, top navigator, bottom navigator, drawer. We will be installing all, and whatever we want, we can use it. Okay, after this, we'll install some other packages like Redux. I'll give you that also in the chat and Telegram chat. Then we need to add the parse and we need to add the parse and the async storage. Make sure you use this version for async storage because the latest version is not compatible with the parse, so we have to use this version. Let me give you this also. After that, we will install this React Native get random values. Just install that also. Okay, after this, since we are building the chat, so we will install one third-party package for the chat that is called as React Native Gifted Chat. So we'll be installing this gifted chat also. Let me give this one also. Okay, let me know once all the packages are installed. This is all what we'll be installing. If we need more, we'll install later, but right now only this one. So before we start really working on, let's see how whether it's working or is there any problem, we can fix it. Let's run this one. Yarn export start. Okay, so if you want to see how it looks, it's now blank application. Okay, so we don't have anything right now. So it's just showing the blank application. Let me know once you're done with all the packages. We'll start building it. Is it done? Installing all the packages. Okay. So let's start the building the application. Some of the files we will be using in multiple projects, like for example register, login, forget password, logout we'll be using. So once I will create here, maybe in the next project we will reuse that thing. So let's create folders and file structure, and then we'll start working. One is the source folder, and inside source folder I will create new folder as a Redux. You can also go on creating the folder along with me. One is the Redux folder. Next will be the screens folder, where we have different screens. Okay. So screens folder is another folder. Next is utils folder, where we will put common files, utility files, or whatever we want, we can do it here. In the utils one, I will create a new file, util parse.js. So whatever related to this, which are using parse, we will build it here. Next is the screens. In the screens, I will create all the files here. One is the register screen.js, where we will take the registration. Next is login screen.js. Next is logout screen.js. Next is for the forgot password, I will say forgot screen.js. Then I'll create new one is users screen.js, and next is users list.js. I don't put screen here, okay, because this may be, yeah, we can put a screen also, but let's keep it like this. Next is profile screen, where user will update his name and few things. Profile screen. Next is chat screen.js, where user will chat to someone. Next is chat list screen. Here he will be able to see all the chat which he has previously done. So if you have WhatsApp, whatever you see on that page will be that chat screen here, chat list screen here. Next is home screen, which will be the first screen where we start the things, home screen. Next is we'll be having the one live query, because this is a dynamic, all things should be updated without refreshing. So we should have one live query.js. And when I'm chatting with someone, I should update the live query for that one. So we will have another file called as chat live query.js. And when we are on the list page and someone message me, Then also I need to update the live query. So I will have one more live query that will be chat list live query .js. I'm thinking what else we can do. Okay, so these are the files. Okay, let me create a blank structure for each one of them, and you can also create all these files and then create a blank structure. Just go on each one and create a blank one. Okay, so I created blank structure for everything is mentioned here. Let's create few files under the Redux. In Redux, we will be having one folder called as sites, and in the Redux, we will have new file called as root reducer, and in the Redux, we will have the new file store.js. Okay, okay, this is all what we need for our chat application. Remember, we are only doing one-to-one chat for now. We will not be doing the group chat or channel chat for now. At least you get the idea of one-to-one chat, how to make it. But in some time future, we will work on improving this to do the group and channel also. Okay, let me know once you create all these files. Okay, let me create few more files under the sites. Under the sites, we need to create a new file called as sites action.js. Next will be new file sites reducer.js. Okay, so this is all what we'll be doing. Okay, let's go further now. Let me know once you're done. Okay, this is the file structure. Just build it. Is it done? Okay, let's go now further. So let's go to app.js. Okay, or let's go to store.js. And since this store.js is it's common, we don't have to think, just copy paste the store.js. We have already done this store.js in all the application. So this is just a configuration file, and it's a bootstrap thing to add the Redux part. I'll give you this text in the Telegram chat. So just put it in the store.js. And then let's go to sites reducer. In the sites reducer also, first we will make the initial state. Okay, so let's make the initial state. Before I go to site reducer, wait a minute. Okay, so in the store.js, just put this quickly, and then let's go to site reducer. I'll be not doing the full site reducer now, but at least let's build some basic structure. We have to define some initial state which has all the variables in it, which I will be using. For example, on the users page, I will have users as a key, and I will put some object inside for the user. This is for the displaying the users on the page. Next is displaying the chat messages. So I want to display the chat messages to the user, so I'll put it in the chat messages. Next will be the chat list. So this is something, when you go to WhatsApp, you see all the users with whom you have chatted. So that part will come here in the chat list. So we will update this key value pair inside this object later, but this is the basic three things which we care about. Then I'll create one object which has all the key value pair, like whatever action I create, what to do in that each action. So right now I'll just create one test action, which we will replace it with the real action later, and it's an arrow function. Then I will create third one, constant sites reducer equal to. So here I will get two things. One, I will get state initially, which will be initial state. By default, we will pass the initial state in the beginning, and later on it will come with the updated state. And then there will be action, which is nothing but an object. And this is the arrow function. So in the site reducer, we'll get the state and the action. So once we get this action, it has a type in it. Okay, so I will check whether action.type exists in this object. So I will say object, and here I will pass action.type. So whatever type we are getting for this action must exist in this object. If it is there, then I will return it with this object action type. And since, let's say, action.type is test, so I will check if object of test is there or not. It is there. And if it is there, I will call this object or action type, that is this one. And since this is a function, so I have to call it as a function. And I will pass two parameters here. One is state and action. So whatever state I am getting, I will pass it here. Whatever action I am getting, I will pass it here. So here also I will get state and action because of this state and action. And right now I will return dot 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 state. So whatever state we get, I will just return that one here. In the real world, when this is a test one, so I'm just writing the state. But when we have the other action, we will update the users, or we'll update the chat messages, or we'll update the chat list based on what we want to pass it here. So this is what we'll build it here. And if we don't get this action type, then I'll just return the state. Whatever state we're getting, I will return that state here. And I will export default size reducer. So this is the basic structure. We will improve this more as we go along. Right now, just create this site reducer. I'll give you in the Telegram chat, and you put it there. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, let's continue now. So we created the basic structure of the site reducer. We created the basic structure of the store. Let's go to app.js and put something in the app.js. So first thing is, if you go here, first thing is we need to put some lines kind of thing. So for example, I have to import some statements. First is import is React Native gesture handler. So first thing is we have to add this gesture handler. Next is I have to import React Native get random values. This is the second thing which I have to import. I'll copy and paste after I'm done writing all this. I have to import a parse. So I'll say parse from parse/React Native. Then I have to import the provider for the React Redux. React Redux. Then I have to import the async storage. Import async storage from the React Native async storage. Then also I have to import the home screen. First screen which I will be showing is the home screen. So I will import home screen from source screens and the home screen. Next is I have to import the store from the source Redux and store. I don't need these two. I'll remove it. I don't need this one. I'll just call the home screen for now. And I don't need the styles. Since I have used the parse server, so I'll configure the parse server here. I'll say parse.set async storage, and I have to define this async storage for it. In the web world, we have the local storage, so we don't need this statement. But on the React Native, we don't have the local storage, so we have to use the async storage. Then we'll use the server URL for the parse equal to https parse server.us 1336/parse. So this is the one which we will be using, and then we'll initialize the parse with the app ID and the JavaScript key, and I will check the parse after this one if parse is coming properly, and this home screen has to be wrapped with the provider. So I'll use the provider with the store equal to store, and I will call the home screen. So this completes it. Let's see what we're getting for this parse. So we are getting this all the parse information with the server URL and the JavaScript key, and all thing is coming here. So we are done with the app.js one. I'll give you this in the chat, and also in the Telegram chat I gave this. Just put it in the app.js. Let me see if I given the Redux part. Yeah, I gave the Redux also. I give you the store also. Let's write down the root reducer, which we didn't edit. Let me put the root reducer. 1 second. Let me do that. So let's go to root reducer, and we will put something here. So here I will import something from Redux that is called combine reducers. Then I'll import the site reducer, and then I'll create the variable root reducer equal to combine reducers. We have to combine, let's say there are multiple reducers in the feature, so we have to combine all of them. And here I'll say site reducer. And then I'll export this one, export default root reducer. Okay, let me give you in the chat this one also. Okay, so this is about the root reducers. And I created the storage done. Site reducer will update as we go along. And this is something app.js. Let me know once you're done putting all these three files. Okay, so we are done with this setup kind of thing. Okay, let's see why this is giving error. Let's run it again. Okay, so it's working fine. If you see the screen, it's showing the home screen at the top. Okay, so at least it's working kind of thing. Okay, now what we'll do, we will set up the navigation and then we'll continue in the next class what to do with the feature. So let's go to the home screen and we'll set up the navigation part here in this page. Okay, so for this I will import few statements like login screen from login screen. Like this I'll import few statements. Next is the register screen. Next is forgot screen. And then next is the user screen. Okay, so we will be creating 4 screens on this page. And I will also create the navigation for the navigation part. So I'll import 2 things for the navigation from React Navigation Native. I'll call navigation container, and second statement I'll call import from React Native stack. Here I'll call the create stack navigator, and then I'll create the stack. This all we have done in the navigation stack. So we'll call the create navigator stack, create stack navigator, and then here we will wrap navigation container, and inside navigation container I'll call the stack dot navigator. Inside stack dot navigator I will call the stack dot screen with different parameters. First one is the login, and component is login screen, and options. We will fill these options in a minute. Okay, so let's create this one. Okay, so now let's copy this screen. S should be the bigger one, capital. Let's do it for register. We'll call the register screen. We'll call the forgot screen. We'll call the user screen. This will be forgot. This will be users. Okay. So if you see the page now, we are on the login page, and login screen is called here as a default because first line is the login one. So whenever we are in the login, register, forgot, or users, I don't want the header to be shown. This header should not be shown. So here I can say screen options, header shown equal to false. We don't need the header, this top header. Now you see login screen is shown at the top and headers are. So since we put option here, I will remove the option part from here. Otherwise I can put this option in each one of them. But since I put at the top level, we don't need it here. And we don't need this style sheet also. We don't need this first line. Okay, so this is something we can call login page, register page, forgot page, and users page. Initially, it will be login, register, forgot, and once the user will logged in, we will call the users page where user will see the user screen, and he can see all the users, and he can go to chat section and other sections in the future. So just update this home screen page with this code. I'll give you in the Telegram chat. So we have already done, if you go to this path server mode, we have already done this login, logout, register, and forgot. So maybe as a homework assignment, you can build the login, register, forgot. Don't work on users. Don't work on the users, and just work on these three things and update in your homework assignment. Okay. So let me commit what I have, and we'll continue next time with I'll build all these three, but I want everyone to work on this one. Yeah, I merged your PR to the main file RAM, so you can work more on it in the new PR. Okay, let's do the git status. Okay, so let me commit it. I'll merge this in the main branch, and then I'll merge this in the main branch, and then next time I'll create again the new branch, so that if anyone wants to copy the code from my thing, they can copy. So let's click it. Create merge request to merge. So now this all changes are in the main branch. Okay, so you can. So for homework assignment, you have to finish all whatever is done if you have not done it, all the screens for this one. Also, you have to work on the login part, register part, forgot, which already we did in the path server 1. And you can just copy it, and then I will redo it again next time, and we'll go from there. Okay, so next class I'll tell you when it is there. Whenever I get free time, I'll ping you. Otherwise, we'll see next Saturday. Most probably I'll take before that, because we need to finish this as early as possible. Any questions?